What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty, behind the camera from Ty Drives, and sitting before us is the 2024 Audi A7. Now, the A7s have been pretty hard to find. I've been wanting to film one of these for you guys for a long time. Finally, we have an absolutely gorgeous example. This one is a Prestige, which is the top trim, and on top of that, this has the luxury and black optics package. So we have a very nice A7 for us to take a look at today. Now, throughout this video, we're going to take a look at the exterior. We'll then pop the hood, see what powers the A7, take a look at the trunk. Since it is a Sportback, it's got a lot of space in there. We'll then check out the rear seats and finally end up in the front seats and kind of look at all of the features that we possibly can in a timely manner. Now, if you're looking for a test drive of the A7, we have filmed that too. Make sure you look at my channel, Ty Drives, for a POV test drive. But first things first, let's take a look at the exterior details, starting on the headlamps. Now, the Prestige gives you this beautiful setup for the headlamps. Take a look at them all illuminated. So everything is LEDs, the high beams, low beams, daytime running lights, and turn signals, and you even have matrix beam, which is pretty awesome. Now, we also have these cutouts in the bumper for the windshield, or I'm sorry, the headlight washers. We have parking sensors surrounding the front bumper as well as the rear bumper, and this car also automatically parks itself. Now, thanks to the S-Line black optic package, we have a completely blacked out grille, so we have a combination of kind of flat black and also some glossy black. Even with your Audi rings, they're even all blacked out. We have a camera right below. There are 4 cameras all the way around for a kind of 3D view. And we also have these sensors here for your adaptive cruise control and various other front warning symbols. Now, for 2024, the A7 and A6, which we also did film an A6 a couple months earlier, so check my channel, they have both received kind of a mild refresh, kind of new grille, new front styling, new wheels, couple different things on the inside. So that's that for the 2024. That's kind of what's new for the 24 model year on the A7s. Nice long sloping hood with some pretty prominent creases that go down into the grille, and some pretty good looking wheels. Now, these are kind of part of the black optic package, where kind of most of the wheel has this dark gray painted inserts, and we have machine finish on the outside of the wheel. Nice big 6-piston brakes too. This is just the A7, and remember we have the S7 and RS7 above this, but even the A7 gets nice big brakes. 255/40 is the size of the tires, and the wheels measure up at 20 inches. We've got the little blue cap, and indicating that these are filled with nitrogen. We've got the S-Line badging right on the fender, and all of our trim around the windows are blacked out thanks to the black optic package. Now, the black optic package is more than just kind of visual elements. It also gives you a sport suspension setup, which is pretty nice. Our mirrors have a LED turn signal indicator, and we also have cameras underneath each of them and blind spot warning on the inside. Our door handles, all 4 will have smart key entry. Of course, we have this little pad right here to lock the vehicle, and just put your hands behind the handle to unlock. And again, that goes for all 4 doors. The A7 is essentially a coupe style to the A6, which is why we have this really nice kind of fastback look. And all of the doors are actually frameless, so we'll see that once we get inside. Take a quick look at the window sticker. We could see lots and lots of standard equipment, as well as lots of additional extras. So we've got the luxury package, S-Line black optic package, and a couple of smaller odds and ends. I can kind of zoom in there so you could pause the screen. We have a total sticker price of $87,350. 3-liter turbocharged V6 gets pretty good gas mileage too, having all-wheel drive as standard. As far as the colors we have on this car, it's a really gorgeous color setup. This might look black on this cloudy day that we have here, but it's actually called Firmament Blue, very dark blue. And we have Sardair brown interior, which is kind of exclusive on the Audi lineup. We actually have a deployable spoiler back here, so let's take a look at that when it's up. Looks pretty cool. There's a button inside kind of to display it. And our lights, we have a nice big light bar that goes all the way across from the kind of quarter panel all the way across the trunk to the other quarter panel. Of course, everything up here is LED powered. We have the turn signals, tail lights, and brake lights are all LEDs. And mostly all of our badging back here kind of blends in with the car. A7, Audi rings, and our Quattro emblems are all pretty much blacked out. We of course have parking sensors that run the span of the bumper back here. Some hidden exhaust tips up underneath. And right after we take a look at the engine, we'll see how this sounds. We'll get a quick exhaust clip. Just below the Audi emblem, we have our trunk release and the reversing camera. By the way, if you're in the market for an Audi, check out Valenti Audi in Watertown, Connecticut. They were kind enough to provide us with this car, and they'll definitely be kind enough to help you out with your next Audi purchase. What do we think of the styling on the A7? I think ever since this came out, kind of in the mid-2010s, I believe 2013, 2014, something like that is when the A7 came out. I think it's a great looking car, definitely an awesome alternative to the traditional sedan that is the A6. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Taking a quick peep under the hood of the A7 reveals a 3-liter turbocharged V6 with mild hybrid assist. And it's good for 335 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque, which I think is plenty of power. If you don't think that's enough power, then you can opt for the S7, which has a turbocharged and supercharged V6, or the RS7, which has a twin turbocharged V8. But for this video, we're going to be working with this motor, and it does have plenty of power. Make sure, again, you check out my other video on the test drive to see just how much power it makes on the road. But everything is hooked up to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, and of course, we have Quattro all-wheel drive. Everything's pretty neatly packaged in there. Lots of pipes and hoses going on in there. It does have 2 hood latches, and the hood is released right here. So the A7 will come standard with a powered liftgate, and as you can see, it definitely has a larger trunk lid than the A6 does, which means you have lots more room kind of to put some taller items, and it definitely seems a little bit more deep too. I'm not sure if it's just me or if it's a little bit larger than the A6, but no doubt it's a little bit taller, the trunk lid. We do have 2 cargo shades, one that's kind of there and one that's attached to the window, so that'll kind of meet up with each other and make sure nobody has viewing access to your goods in the back. And those are of course removable. There's some very supple carpet back here, some tie downs, even some extra storage to the side here with the net pocket. And underneath we have our spare tire and tools. So it's good that it still comes with a spare tire. 2 buttons up here to close the trunk. One of this one here is to close the trunk and lock the vehicle, and then this one just to simply close the trunk right on down. And so here we have our first look at the interior of the A7. We'll start out back, where the luxury package gives you lots and lots of leather, very smooth leather even up here with some stitching. We have some very nice new wood trim for this year, and that's part of the 2024 update. Lots of bright work too, so around your door handle, up above the wood trim, and a pretty large one right down here leading into your door panel. Now you're saying, this is a pretty dark brown interior, and yes it is. It is actually brown, I could promise you that. This is the part that's brown, and next to the black, it definitely is a very dark shade of brown, almost like a dark chocolate color. Very rich looking, extremely smooth, and probably the nicest quality leather out there. We have soft touch all the way down here and a larger pocket right here. Also 16 Bang & Olufsen speakers in this car. We have 2 on the rear door. We have a nice stainless steel tray right there upon entry. And take a look at the rear seats. Gorgeous attention to detail. We have perforations in the middle with some kind of gray piping, contrast stitching. Really nice looking headrests. Definitely very comfy and pretty roomy back here too. Now you can fold the rear seats down with this little button right here. And that'll fold it flat with the cargo area so you can stick some pretty long objects in there. This also has a pass-through too, so you can see there's a handle up here, and there's also a handle up at the top, which will fold down the pass-through, and this handle here will fold down your center armrest. That has a little bit of a storage bin and some cup holders as well. And I'm going to go ahead and power the vehicle on so we can see the rear climate controls, and we'll also hop in to see how much room there is back here. Okay, so now that I'm seated in the A7, it is nice and comfy back here, and I'm about 5'10", so I adjusted this seat to a kind of comfortable position for myself. Take a look at that, couple inches of leg room. We have storage on the back of each net pocket, and kind of the highlight back here is the climate control. So kind of this touch sensitive unit right here. We have a 4-zone climate control in this car. Each rear passenger has their own temperature, their own fan speed, and where they'd like to have the air come out. It's also automatic climate control, and we also have heated seats back here. It's a very nice setup for the rear climate control. We also have USB-C chargers and a 12-volt power outlet. Now it'll definitely be a little bit snug for a third passenger, meaning the middle passenger back here, since the hump is a little bit big, but it's definitely doable for shorter trips. Now, sometimes concerning on these kind of sportback looking cars is headroom. And now again, I'm 5'10", and I do have a pretty decent amount of space. I'd say about an inch of headroom back here, so not too bad. There are, of course, LED lights back here, and a nice view out the oversized sunroof. Now, before we actually get into the driver's cockpit, there's a couple of things I wanted to show you with the doors. Now, for starters, the door handles are actually electronic. So once you get to a certain point, it'll kind of electronically pop it open. And then this A7 also has soft closed doors. So if you can see, you just latch it a little bit, it'll just pull it close and close to the frame. Now, one more thing on the doors is the kind of frameless glass that the A7 has. Pretty cool. Don't have that big frame around. And you also have this acoustic material. I'm not sure if my camera's focusing right now. We have this acoustic material in between two panes of glass, so definitely a quiet ride for this car. Leather up top, more wood like we saw back. The design is very similar to the rear seats, but of course we have quite a few more buttons. We have the lock, unlock up there. 2-person memory for the driver and passenger. We also have all of our window adjustments right here. Also your child locks and your mirror adjustments, power folding and heated. You can also see the blind spot view right here is this cutout in the mirror. A little bit easier to see than a light on the mirror itself. And down here we have a decent amount of storage and our trunk release and a couple of speakers on the door. We have the nice S badge for our sills up front, and on the left of the dash we have some more wood, all of our headlights and rear fog light controls. Pretty large storage pocket over here. Sometimes you can even fit the owner's manual in there. It goes nice and deep. We're over here in the steering column, a little bit easier to see at this angle is your power tilt and telescope toggle right there. We have our hood release and our pedals. And that brings me to these gorgeous driver and passenger seats. Very much same design as the rear, but definitely a very supportive and customizable seat. It is heated, ventilated, and even massaged right here with this button right here. We have forward lumbar. We also have our regular seat adjustments, and you can also adjust the extensions right here through the touchscreen. So let's hop in and dive into the technology in the front of this car. And here's the key for the A7, very similar to Other higher end Audi products, we have the lock, unlock, trunk release, and panic alarm on the back. They make it pretty simple with the Audi logo here and a little silver button to release a physical key. And they also give you a spot to put your key while you're driving. Right down here is our push button ignition. Now let's start things off with the steering wheel, since there are quite a few things to cover there. It is fully leather wrapped with some stitching on the inside. Very comfortable steering wheel to hold in your hands. It has also got paddle shifters mounted to the wheel. Small ones, but they are there. As far as functionalities go, we have all of these buttons to configure your virtual cockpit. And all of these mostly for media, so we have the Bluetooth voice commands, a programmable button, and your audio volume, and skipping between different stations. On the rear of the steering wheel on this side, we have a couple of stalks. One for, of course, your turn signals, automatic high beams, and then this one for your adaptive cruise control. And then over here we have our wipers. Now that brings me up to our virtual cockpit. Very, very customizable screen. I think it's still one of the best in the industry, and it's very, very easy to get used to. So this is kind of like a home screen, I guess you could say, where you can see a large tachometer, a large speedometer. Then we have our odometer down here, date and time, temperature, things like that in the center, and then up here, distance till empty, and your different menus. A couple of warning lights will display up here in case if it's applicable, so you can see the parking brake is on. Then we also have our coolant temperature over here and gas gauge right there. Again, we'll use these buttons here to configure, and at any time you could press this view button. That'll kind of shrink the speedometer and tachometer and kind of make the information in the center a little bit larger. So we could scroll down using that scroll wheel to an average and real-time consumption, short and long-term memory, energy consumption screen, your fatigue level, which is pretty cool. Then we can move over to our driver's assistance page, which is another update for 2024. We can now see a little bit better of a visual for all of your kind of driver's assistance features. So if you kind of turn on your lane keeping assist with the button at the end of this stalk here, it will kind of show up while you're driving. Moving over again, we have a audio screen, and once you select something, a nice display will pop up. We have a phone and also a navigation screen, so this does have built-in navigation with the Google Maps displayed right now, which is a very nice feature. You can also kind of set a destination too from the steering wheel and the gauge cluster, which is pretty awesome. And again, at any time, you could just press that view button and make what's in the center a little bit smaller or larger, depending on your needs. That is pretty much it with the virtual gauge cluster. You can choose a couple of different layouts for your kind of main gauges, like a couple of different styles, but for the most part, that is pretty much it with the gauge cluster. Again, very intuitive, very easy to get used to, and it's got plenty of information. Up here we have a full leather dashboard with a pretty nice looking heads-up display. So currently it's displaying our speed, our lane keeping assist. You can also have it show kind of like your RPMs and things like that, also your navigation. Taking a look across the dashboard, we have some hidden air vents and this wood trim and kind of like a shelf design. And I really like this kind of design here. It's got a pretty cool kind of line effect going all the way across. And let's check out our touchscreen, because there are some updates in here as well. Now, this is kind of like your home screen. We'll have some information over here, whether it's you know, programmable things, like you can adjust what's over here. You can also see your audio, get your Amazon Alexa, and some various shortcuts over here too. If we swipe over, we have a search bar, which is very useful, so you can just type in what you're searching for. This lower screen will become a kind of keyboard. Swiping back over, this will kind of be a jumblation of all your apps. Now, just keep in mind you do have some shortcuts towards this side. You can also swipe from the top to get your tone settings, various different informational settings, notifications. You can also sign in to have different users and things like that too. So, taking a quick look at the radio screen, we could see we have the whole setup here. Obviously, we have our different sources. We have our media, so once you plug in your phone, we also have a dedicated phone screen, online media, of course your built-in navigation. It's got the Google Maps here, and then we can also type in your destination here or also search there. As you can see, all the screen inputs are very fast. There's no lagging or anything on the screen. We have a nice vehicle setup screen, which has to do with your kind of mode select. So we have comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. And in an individual mode, driving mode that is, you can adjust a couple of different things. Some other notable things in the vehicle screen has to do with your seats. So you can actually adjust the side bolstering, so kind of the sides of the seats you can hug or loosen. And also at the top, we can adjust the thigh extension too from here. And we can also adjust the massage function too. So different types of massage, intensity levels, and you can start it up right there too, which is pretty awesome. And you can also customize your seat as well as the passenger seat from the screen. So pretty cool. Now, if you were to press the little button in the center of the lumbar controls, that will also pull up a kind of smaller screen like that. So that is pretty cool. So you don't have to go through all of these menus to access that stuff. With our lighting and visibility screen, which has to do with our exterior and interior lighting, we have some pretty cool ambient lighting, which has kind of some preset colors. You can adjust the brightness and also kind of customize your own color. You can have two colors at once. So that's pretty neat. We have some driving assistance functionality, so you can kind of set it as a maximum or a basic level, or kind of customize what you want. As you can see, lots and lots of driver's assistance features on this car. We also have a settings and service app there too. Going over to the store, you can kind of purchase different apps and download them to your Audi. And phone apps has to do with our wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. We can adjust different themes, get Amazon Alexa's help. We also have a bunch of different settings that you can go through. We can sign into different users, messages, news, and weather and things like that. So that's kind of the general gist of this screen. Some updates on here as well for the 2024 model year. But again, same idea as this screen, very easy to get used to, but it does have lots of information for you to get used to. This lower screen is mainly dedicated to climate control. So even though the climate control is on a screen, it's a completely separate screen, so not too bad there to customize. But there are a couple of different buttons up here. From left to right, we have our auto start stop button. We can turn that on and off. Automatic parking, and then you can also like adjust different apps and where they are. We have our garage door openers right there. We can also put up and down your retractable spoiler, turn on and off your heads-up display, and turn on and off this upper screen. Kind of a rundown of the climate control. Again, we have 4-zone climate control. This you can slide up and forth, or up and down rather, to customize the temperatures. We have our zones, fan speed, and everything's individual, or you can just kind of sync it up like I have now. We have our buttons for our heated and cooled seats, AC settings, recycling, and we also have some extra controls up here for your heated steering wheel and kind of adjustments for the rear climate control from up front, and some other kind of AC settings. So that is pretty much the gist of the lower screen as well. Same theme as any of the other screens, very easy to get used to once you get used to it. Down here we have some touch capacitive buttons to quickly select your drive mode, turn on and off your traction control, as well as your hazard lights, and your defrosters are down here as well. Another row of buttons, your engine start stop button. You can also bring up your parking cameras right here really quick, so we're going to go through those quickly. Lots of different camera views on this car. We can see we have a 360 view right here. You can also activate your automatic parking feature from this menu. But over here in our main section, we kind of have a wide angle front, normal front. We can access the larger top-down view, a rear, a wide angle rear view, and then the front and the rear wheels. But then this camera system also has a party trick. We have the 3D view, which is pretty awesome. Some manufacturers are starting to adopt this, but Audi does a really nice job with this. We have another button over here to activate your automatic parking assist, kind of a physical button for that. Also a physical button to change around your different driving assist. We also have this volume knob here that doubles as a change between different tracks. That brings me down to our center console, which has some nice wood. Thank God it's not more glossy black like my Q5 has. This whole area down here is glossy black. It's very prone to scratching and definitely lots of dust. So I'm glad that Audi changed it up and put some wood down here for the A7. But pretty much down here we have our electronic shifter, where we have the side button here, pull it straight down into drive. As you can see, whatever mode you're in will kind of light up. We can, once we're in drive, we can bump it down into a kind of sport transmission mode, or bump it over to put it into manual mode. And we can put it all the way up for reverse, and in that case your parking sensors will activate as well as your parking camera. And then putting it in park is as simple as just pressing P right there. We have our electronic parking brake here, a couple of cup holders, and another 12-volt power outlet. Nice and comfy center armrest, which is wrapped in that beautiful leather. We lift it up. Not a whole lot of storage in there, but it is illuminated. You kind of have a part right there to put pencils and pens, something like that, and a wireless charger for your phone with a couple of USB-C inlets. And you can kind of adjust the height to this armrest too, so as you can see, you can adjust it up and down and it won't go anywhere. Passenger area is very appealing to the eyes with this glossy black. We have some ambient lighting going on over here at the nighttime. We have bright work and some more wood. They also have a lockable glove box, so we can open that up. Plenty of space in there, all felt lined, illuminated, and it's even got a pen holder. We have a full black cloth headliner with a nice big sunroof, powered shade, and that is all controlled over here with this one toggle, so it'll kind of move back and forth the shade as well as the roof itself, so you can either tilt or slide back the glass portion of it. We also have tap illumination up here. We have some more illumination controls, SOS and emergency buttons up there too, and a nice frameless mirror. As you can see, with the Sportback look, it's not the best view out the back, but it's definitely not the worst. So, and all the mirrors in this car are auto dimming at the nighttime. We have a compass up there, and we also have some little visors where you can kind of extend them to the side. We have a card holder, a mirror, and a light up here. So, pretty good amount of features on this very loaded up A7 that we got to check out today. I hope you have enjoyed the A7 just as much as I have. I hope this was very educational for you. And I also hope you go on over to our channel and check out our test drive video on this A7 where we put it through its paces. But that pretty much wraps up this video of the features tour. I thank you very much for watching. I hope you stick around for future videos just like this one.